In the sweltering summer of 1953, a shadow fell over the United States, one that still lingers in the halls of American history and consciousness. On June 19th, Ethel and Julius Rosenberg were executed in the electric chair at Sing Sing prison, accused of espionage, of betraying their country during the tense and paranoid days of the Cold War. Theirs was a story unlike any other, a tale of love, loyalty, betrayal, and tragedy that divided a nation and echoed through decades, raising profound questions about justice, fear, and the true cost of ideological conflict. Few scandals of the Cold War era captured the public imagination like the Rosenberg case, yet over time, the details and debates surrounding their fate have faded from everyday conversation. This is the Cold War scandal America forgot, a haunting reminder of a moment when fear overshadowed fairness and two lives were lost in a controversy that still sparks heated arguments today. Julius Rosenberg was born in New York City in 1918, the son of Jewish immigrants from Russia. From an early age, he was drawn to the ideals of communism, captivated by the promise of a world where workers held power and injustice was uprooted. He studied electrical engineering and found work as a skilled technician, but more importantly, he became deeply involved in leftist politics during the Great Depression, when economic hardship pushed many Americans to question the status quo. Ethel Greenglass, born in 1915 in the Bronx, shared a similar background. The daughter of Russian Jewish immigrants, she grew up in a working-class environment, attending Hunter College, where she met Julius. Their connection was instant and deep, built on shared ideals and dreams for a better world. They married in 1939, embarking on a partnership that was both romantic and political, deeply intertwined with the tumultuous events of their era. By the early 1940s, the world was engulfed in World War II, and the United States and the Soviet Union were uneasy allies against Nazi Germany. But beneath this fragile cooperation, mistrust and competition simmered, setting the stage for the Cold War. It was during this time that Julius was recruited to spy for the Soviet Union, an act driven by a complex mix of ideology, patriotism, and the intense belief that sharing atomic secrets might help maintain a balance of power and prevent global catastrophe. The Manhattan Project, America's secret endeavor to develop the atomic bomb, was one of the most closely guarded military secrets in history. But through a network of spies embedded in critical scientific and military roles, the Soviets learned valuable information that accelerated their own nuclear program. Julius Rosenberg became a key figure in this espionage network, passing along information that was instrumental in allowing the Soviet Union to build its atomic bomb faster than anticipated. Yet the question that still divides historians and the public alike is, what role did Ethel play in this covert operation? Was she an active participant or a victim of circumstance, caught in the crossfire of Cold War hysteria? The evidence against her was thin, much of it coming from the testimony of her brother, David Greenglass, who himself had admitted to spying but later claimed Ethel typed up notes that Julius passed on to the Soviets. Some argue his testimony was coerced, that it was offered under immense pressure to save himself and his wife from prosecution. In 1950, Julius and Ethel Rosenberg were arrested by the FBI, accused of conspiring to transmit atomic secrets to the Soviet Union. Their trial was swift and sensational, held in New York City amidst a climate of fear and anti-communist fervor. The judge was strict, and the prosecution's case was built on a mixture of decrypted Soviet communications, known as the Venona Project, and the testimonies of key witnesses, including David Greenglass. The trial captivated the nation. Newspapers ran headlines that branded the Rosenbergs as traitors, and the public was divided between those demanding harsh justice and those pleading for clemency. The Rosenbergs maintained their innocence, claiming they were victims of political persecution, caught in a witch hunt fueled by McCarthyism and the Red Scare sweeping across America. Despite international appeals for mercy, including from prominent intellectuals, artists, and political leaders around the world, the Rosenbergs were convicted of espionage in 1951 and sentenced to death. Their appeals were denied, and the execution date set for June 19, 1953. The night before their execution was fraught with despair and resolve. Ethel and Julius spent their final hours together, reportedly holding hands and comforting each other as the reality of their fate closed in. Their children, Michael and Robert, were left in the care of relatives, their futures forever marked by the shadow of their parents' conviction. When the electric chair was activated at Sing Sing, it marked the first execution of civilians for espionage in United States history. The event was met with shock and outrage by some, and with grim approval by others who saw it as a necessary defense of national security. Decades later, documents declassified from Soviet archives and the Venona Project confirmed Julius Rosenberg's involvement in espionage activities, cementing his role as a Soviet spy. However, the evidence regarding Ethel's involvement remains controversial. Many scholars and activists argue that she was unfairly prosecuted and that her execution was a miscarriage of justice, a sacrifice made to pressure Julius or to send a message during a tense geopolitical era. The legacy of the Rosenbergs is complicated. Their story reflects not only the dangers of espionage during the Cold War, but also the perilous consequences when justice becomes entangled with politics and fear. It raises questions about due process, the use of capital punishment, and how a society balances national security with civil liberties. To this day, the Rosenberg case serves as a cautionary tale about the costs of paranoia and the human toll of ideological battles. Their story has been retold in books, films, and plays, each interpretation adding layers to the myth and reality of who they were and what they represented. Today, the case of Ethel and Julius Rosenberg stands as one of the most controversial chapters of the Cold War. To some, it remains a clear example of justice served in the face of espionage. To others, it is a cautionary tale about the dangers of political pressure and limited evidence. Regardless of interpretation, the Rosenbergs' trial and execution continue to spark debate, offering a stark glimpse into an era when national security and civil liberties were locked in constant tension. If you found this story as fascinating and tragic as I did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow and lets me know you want more deep dives into hidden Cold War secrets and untold stories. Also, make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you never miss an eye-opening video like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where we uncover more secrets history tried to hide.